From the outside, Kola and Zainab were the kind of couple that made people believe love had finally learned how to survive in the modern African city. They lived in a high-rise apartment that overlooked a restless skyline of traffic lights, billboards, and unfinished buildings reaching toward the clouds. Their marriage didn't look like their parents' marriages. There were no rigid roles, no loud declarations about who was the head of the home. They split chores, shared bills, laughed at old traditions, and posted smiling pictures that quietly told the world, "We are different." In the beginning, love felt light, effortless, almost progressive. But love, like the city, had hidden costs. They met during their final year at university, two dreamers bonded by ambition and late-night conversations under dim hostel lights. Back then, money was just an idea, something they hoped to have more of someday. Kola studied architecture and talked endlessly about designing buildings that would change skylines. Zainab, sharp and confident, was already imagining herself climbing corporate ladders, breaking glass ceilings, and proving that women could have both power and partnership. When they married, they promised each other equality, teamwork, and respect. They believed love could be engineered like a modern city, balanced, efficient, and fair. After the wedding, city life welcomed them quickly and without mercy. Rent waited for no one, bills arrived faithfully, traffic tested patience. But they faced it all together. Their salaries were close enough that neither felt small beside the other. They planned budgets together, cooked together, complained together. In those early years, money never spoke loudly enough to disturb their peace. Love was still the loudest voice in the room. Then one ordinary afternoon, Zainab received an email that quietly shifted the ground beneath their marriage. A promotion. A major one. Her company recognized her talent and rewarded it generously. Overnight, her income more than tripled. She was excited, proud, and hopeful. Kola celebrated her genuinely, holding her close and telling her she deserved it. But somewhere deep inside him, a silent question began to grow, a question he did not yet have the courage to ask. At first, the changes were subtle. Zainab insisted on paying for dinners more often. She covered bills without discussion, brushing it off as convenience. Kola told himself it didn't matter. After all, weren't they modern? Wasn't this what equality looked like? But the city has a way of reminding men that pride is expensive. At work, friends joked carelessly about being sponsored. At family gatherings, questions came wrapped in laughter but sharpened by expectation. Kola smiled through it all, but each crack left a small inside him. As Zainab's career soared, her lifestyle followed. New furniture arrived, a better car replaced the old one. Weekend plans became decisions rather than discussions. Slowly, almost invisibly, Kola's opinions began to feel optional. He noticed it in small moments, when she booked trips without asking, when she spoke over him in conversations, when she dismissed his concerns with a casual wave of financial authority. She wasn't cruel, but confidence, when mixed with power, can forget how to listen. Arguments didn't arrive loudly at first. They hid behind jokes, sarcasm, and forced laughter. Until one evening, during what was meant to be a light conversation, Zainab said something she didn't plan but didn't stop. "You don't even pay for this house," she said, half smiling, as if stating a harmless fact. The room fell silent. The words hung in the air heavier than anger. Kola felt something collapse inside him, not just his pride, but his sense of belonging. That night, he slept at the edge of the bed, staring into the darkness, realizing that money had quietly chosen a side. From that moment, love began losing its vote. Kola started working longer hours, chasing relevance, chasing dignity, chasing a version of himself that felt respected again. Zainab mistook independence for distance and strength, for control. They lived together but separately, sharing space without sharing connection. Conversations became transactions. Affection became rare. The apartment, once warm with laughter, now echoed with silence. Then one evening, the power went out. The city plunged into darkness, as it often does, reminding everyone that progress is fragile. With no lights, no phones, and no distractions, Kola lit a candle. The soft glow revealed tired faces and unspoken truths. In that quiet moment, he finally spoke. Not with anger, but with honesty. I don't feel like your husband anymore. I feel like an assistant in my own home. For the first time in a long while, Zainab truly listened. She saw the pain she had overlooked, the love she had unintentionally silenced. She realized that money had begun to speak for her, and she had allowed it to speak without questioning its tone. That night, she didn't defend herself. She didn't argue. She sat with the truth, heavy and uncomfortable. The next day, Zainab made a choice. She cancelled a business trip she had been looking forward to and came home early. That evening, she cooked, not to prove anything, but to reconnect with something familiar and grounding. They ate together in silence, but it felt different this time, softer, honest. When she finally spoke, her voice was low. I forgot we were a team. Kola nodded. He hadn't forgotten. He had just been waiting. They didn't fix everything in one night, but they agreed to reset, not compete. They sat down and talked, truly talked, about money, power, and respect. They decided that wealth would serve their marriage, not rule it. In African wisdom, power without humility destroys homes. They chose humility. Slowly, carefully, love reclaimed its voice. Their marriage survived not because of money, but because of listening. In a city where success shouts and pride demands attention, they learned that wisdom whispers, and those who listen to it build homes that last.